The referee's youngest son was racing on the road. It happened that the judge's only son had an asthma attack. The moment he lowered his head, the youngest son was hit to pieces. The shabby car was on top of the expensive motorcycle. It slid 40 meters before stopping. The boy was completely stunned. When he saw the body, his legs went soft, and he knelt on the ground with a cry of pain. It was obvious that the body was a little uncomfortable. It was still twitching and bleeding. The boy was stunned for a long time before he remembered to reach into his pocket. The mother of the other party called, but he definitely couldn't answer. This road had just been opened and there was no one around. The boy hesitated again and again and hung up the phone. At this time, the body moved. It turned out that the youngest son was not dead, but because of the blood backflowing into his throat, he couldn't speak even if he wanted to ask for help. The boy felt guilty. Finally dialed 119. Due to extreme panic, the boy's asthma attacked again and he stumbled, almost crawled back into the car. The operator kept asking questions on the other side, but the boy ignored him and took a deep breath of the spray. Then he called his father. The boy hoped that his father would come to clean up his mess. Unfortunately, no one answered the phone. At this time, the head of the delivery, as a ministerial judge, was handling a difficult case. The city's largest real estate group, Language Construction, a building under construction collapsed and killed 6 workers. The workers' families believed that Language Construction cut corners and proposed reasonable compensation. Demanding $100 million per life, the lawyer of Language Construction believed that the group provided jobs and was giving benefits to society and should not be blackmailed. The head of the delivery took a taxi to the scene early in the morning. First, he saw the tofu dregs-like building and the poor Khan. 2 hours ago, he died. That person was numb when he heard this. He thought for a long time in the bathroom. Still made the right decision. Protecting his son is hurting others and himself. A real man should face his mistakes bravely. Soon the father and son came to the police station. He asked Ho Ying to wait in the car. He went to an acquaintance to explain the situation first. Unexpectedly, the police station was in chaos. The chief of police was also surprised when he heard Minister Song from the court turn himself in. "You should stop making trouble. A second-generation Chable was killed. We are all busy catching the perpetrators." Smekta. I saw the news. Report on TV. The eyes of the head-giving man were full of fear. It turned out that the son who died was the youngest son of the chairman of the language group Jinkang County, Jinshanxian. How terrible is Jinkang County? Let me give you an example. The Jin family started with the underworld in the last century. It was passed down to Jinkang County's generation. They slowly whitewashed themselves and started a business. 3 years ago, during the bidding, Jinkang County was sued by the front for involvement in the underworld. Being imprisoned in prison is called imprisonment, but it is actually more comfortable than a vacation. Every morning, Jinkang County changed into sportswear, and the bodyguards had already cleared the playground. Jinkang County was running and exercising in front. The TV director followed like a dog, flattering him non-stop and thanking Chairman Jin for all kinds of benefits. Once this ruthless character knows the truth, what can't be done? Giving the head to let the son surrender himself is really giving the head. Thinking of this, he changed his mind decisively. He left the police station with Hao Ying as if he was running for his life. No matter if he is a Chable or not, people are all made of flesh and blood. Mrs. Jin learned about the evil and came to Taiping County for an autopsy. She fainted when she saw her son covered in bruises. The news reached the prison immediately. The inmates were talking about it. The warden came to report carefully. He said that he had granted 3 days of leave to let Jin Kangjian go to the funeral as a father. But Jin Kangjian had already broken off the relationship and was completely free. He was in prison at the beginning. It was just a face-saving measure for the judicial authorities. Now he is going out to avenge his son. As a father, he is thinking about how to destroy the evidence. The first step, he first carefully cleaned every corner and cleaned the bloodstains in the car. Then he told the office that today was his wife's death anniversary and he would take a day off temporarily. Then he threw Ho Ying's bloody clothes into the garbage bag. He drove to another community and threw the garbage into the garbage truck. He saw with his own eyes that the garbage was recycled before he left with peace of mind. The second step is to deal with the vehicle. He came to the scrap car processing plant. The person in charge here is the defendant he had taken care of before. He said nothing. He took a new headlight. He replaced the headlight himself according to the online tutorial. In this way, there is no trace of the car accident. He was busy repairing the car. Jin Kangxian had already arrived at the morgue. The police in charge of the investigation were very respectful when they saw Jin Kangxian and told him an amazing news. Jin Kangxian still had vital signs when he arrived at the hospital. If he could be sent half an hour, Jin Yongnan was born to Jin. Kangxian's ex-wife Jinkang County is equivalent to the emperor, but he sent his eldest son to the United States and passed the crown. Prince position to his youngest son. The media is particularly interested in this kind of internal struggle of the Qibol. When they saw Jin Yongnan coming out of the morning hall, they all surrounded him and asked Jin Yongnan to announce on the spot. No matter how much money is spent, he wants to find the culprit who killed his brother. But don't underestimate the power of sending heads. He can become a ministerial judge in South Korea and has a very strong network of connections. That night, the sending head entertained a big boss. He said that after his wife died, the old car had not been dealt with. He didn't want his son to gamble privately. Hopefully it can be dealt with secretly. The big boss is also a social person. He immediately understood and said that he would make proper arrangements. Then he turned around and sent Minister Song away. The big boss called the restaurant owner Zheng Guangxi. After listening to the instructions, Zheng Guangxi gave orders to his subordinates. So the next morning, a car thief named Li Xiangze, he came downstairs to the house of the headman and easily pried, opened the car window and drove away. He secretly observed the headman and put down his hanging heart. He began to carry out the follow-up plan. He asked Song Haoing to write down everything he did that day in order to forge a perfect alibi. But Mr. Lu Xun once said that as long as you do it, you will definitely leave traces. Although Jin Kangxian's mood fell to the bottom, he still listened to the recording over and over again. This recording is a backup of the police alarm center. At first, Jin Kangxian thought it was his son. After Jin Kangxian was injured, he was seriously injured and couldn't speak. As a result, after listening to it countless times, Jin Kangxian noticed the